good to have someone come back. Today I'd like to keep it fairly short. I think I may be able to keep it fairly short. I'm not super prepared, but I have been thinking about this idea for a while, and it has to do with classroom management. I've talked about attendance, I've talked about grading rubrics and the paper grade book. Today I'd like to talk about classroom discipline. Now, almost everybody who teaches has had some lectures about discipline and how to maintain classroom discipline. And it's a valuable thing to consider, and it can be tricky. The problem with every class is they're each their own thing. And you'll find that teachers at different levels will find different things problematic. And discipline also comes in the interaction between the teacher and the class. And so it's subtle. And it requires a certain level of confidence and assurance in the teacher that may not be that person's natural setting. Some people like long lists of rules to maintain class discipline, but I never thought those worked. I was of the New Covenant school, if you think about it. The Old Testament has the 10 Commandments along with a lot of other rules, and a number of the 10 Commandments go, "Thou shalt not." And we know how wonderful that works out to tell people, don't, no, stop, don't, stop, no, stop. The New Covenant, there were only 2 rules. Love God, love others. Much easier set of rules to keep in mind. And it's not a not set, it's a do set. So my classroom had 1 rule, just 1. And it was only 2 words: be polite. Now, I always started off the course description with that rule. I would say, within the confines of the rules that the school has in its handbook, the rule in this classroom will be polite. And any student who doesn't know if what is going on is, or what behavior that student is exhibiting is polite, that student can ask me, "Is this polite?" And I will be frank and say yes or no. But really, at the heart of be polite is the golden rule, the one all of us learned, especially the boomers of the world learned it at school. It's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Respect people and respect yourself. That rule, I think, is probably the best you could possibly have for a classroom, because it's really a rule that you would apply probably to the best homes. Be polite. Express respect for the sacred in others. Don't interrupt if you don't like being interrupted. Don't yell if you don't like being yelled at. Now, of course, it helped that I was this stout, willful, intense person who wanted that rule applied. I didn't necessarily want a stodgy, strict room. I wanted people to feel relaxed and feel enabled to participate in an arena that was safe. To me, that was the biggest thing. I wanted my classroom to be a space where students felt safe. And generally speaking, I think they did. There have been different times where things went terribly wrong in my classroom. I won't spend a lot of time on that. I think every teacher has had a group or an incident where they thought, wow, that was pretty awful. There was one time there was a fist fight in my classroom. That was awful. There was one time there was a kid with a X-Acto knife poking other kids. That was awful. That one took me forever to catch on to. But generally speaking, I wanted the students to feel safe. and seen. The other thing that I think is really helpful when you have that simple a rule structure is every day we were busy. We were doing something. I very rarely, in fact, to be honest with you, I didn't really believe in the we don't have anything to do today mindset. For me, every class was about doing something. I had something planned. I had lessons we had to get through. I had ideas I wanted to discuss with them. I had reading we need to do. And on the days when writing was due, of course, we had to get the writing graded. So that's the other part of classroom discipline that I think would work for any kind of teacher, even teachers that didn't like to lecture like I did, even teachers that didn't like to discuss like John did. The idea that we have something we need to get done today and we just need to jump in and get it done. That kind of focus helps students stay on task. Now, it's not always easy. I love group work. Very few teachers do because students, especially the A students, resent group work. Why? Because they feel like they're being taken advantage of. Because they're the smart one. Everybody's going to expect them to do all the work and then they're going to sit on their big fat butts and not do. We've all heard the complaint, right? Well, the thing about group work is it is really preparation for adult life. We really do have to work with other people and cooperate with them. Even in the most ridiculously isolated job like teaching classes, you have to learn to work with others. It's part of what makes humans the ascendant species on Earth, this ability to work together. We're freaking dangerous when we work together. So, group work can sometimes be difficult for a disciplinarian, but what I found was I have to remain calm and vigilant, and they have to be doing something while they're in the group. Furthermore, I gave them the permission to rate members of their group, and that helped as well. If they were going to be evaluating each other, and they knew it, they also knew that they didn't want to be the one that everybody else in the group said this person was a bum. It did occasionally happen. But the fact that they knew they would be evaluated for their contributions to the group did help with it. Now, let's face the deep reality of group work. The deep reality of group work is some people are going to do more. They're going to get more done. They're going to contribute more. And one of the ways that you can make that work is by saying that's valuable. You want to value that person. If they throw in and do stuff, you want them. Just like when you play games, you know, when they used to pick you for games. Of course you're going to pick the outstanding athlete. Everybody wants that one person on their team because they're going to win. Well, in the work world, very few people have to play basketball as part of their work. But you want somebody that kind of good on the team. You want somebody who contributes, who does things. And the reality is, the more you contribute, the more you get from it. And that's true for just about everything, I think. You put the work in, you put the time in, and you respect the other people, and things are going to work out. And more importantly, the memories you're going to have of those experiences. You know, how many of us remember lectures, right? I mean, I know I do because I like to listen to lectures. But I don't remember all of them. But man, I can remember group activities really well. And my students did too. They remembered working together. They remembered sharing. They remembered generating things. It was fun. Hey, you know what? I'm going to do an episode about group activities, things that you can have students do, and ways that you can teach them to evaluate each other that will help you in that way. So, classroom discipline. Number 1, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Or respect, or be polite. And 2, stay busy. People are more likely to generate good work if they have a goal, if they have a mission, if they have a job. And that's it for today. I'll talk more about discipline when I talk about how we establish good group work, and I'll talk a little bit about the ways I correct bad behavior in class. Now, there's some stories in there. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Short one today, and there'll be an even shorter one tomorrow. So, thanks for joining me, you gorgeous people.